Hi, I'm LP Master 6. Last time on Pokemon Yellow Version Special Pikachu Edition, am I really going to say that full mouthful every time? We got the Boulder Badge. So we are about 1/9 of the way through the game. You could say 1/8, but you know that's not true because there's an ending we have to go do. We have to go see the Pokemon League. And here we are. I forgot to swap Grant out of the first spot in the party. You can go back down there, but you're a step above Fart, so you can be proud of yourself. Woo! Alright, this is where I'm going to start cutting out trainer fights, but you looked at me, didn't you? You're mean! I'm also going to start cutting out that text because it is completely uninteresting 99% of the time. It's just generic losing text. And oftentimes it has nothing to do with what they'll say before or after the battle. Quit staring if you don't want to fight. I really don't like this culture. What do you have to say, Pikachu? So they really hype up like, oh, you can talk to Pikachu. He'll pretty much only do a couple more things the rest of the game, and that's about it. I mean, I like it. I'm not complaining about it. I do wish he had more animations he could do. Originally, he was intended to do a lot more, like I said, because she recorded a lot more voice lines. But they never made it in. Hey! I met you in Viridian Forest! Trainer rematch? Originally in the game, until later in development, anytime you walked past a trainer, they would rematch you. So you had to completely avoid eye contact. But that was taken out because that was extremely obnoxious, presumably. That would be no fun at all. Backtracking would be a nightmare. I don't have enough faith in our attack stats, so I'm just going to Thunder Shock everything possible. And you may have noticed, if you caught Caterpie, Caterpie fully evolves by level 10. We're finally seeing a Weedle. So why do trainers have such high-level Pokemon that haven't evolved? Well, I'd like to think levels in universe aren't really a thing. They're just a thing for gameplay and a thing for you. Once your Pokemon reach a certain level, they'll evolve. And also, you can cancel evolution, which we'll get to at some point by pressing B. But we haven't had a Pokemon that needs evolving yet, so we'll get there when we get there. For now, we are in a nice little gauntlet of trainers, so I can keep talking about what I was talking about before Pewter City, which was capsule monsters. The whole idea was based on just the link cable and perhaps the portability. And I talked about how Miyamoto wanted to make it multiple versions. I talked about that multiple times, actually. And, ooh, Double Team. This raises your evasion, which, like accuracy, is a temporary stat from battle to battle. Evasion is pretty much the defensive counterpart to accuracy. I feel like that's pretty obvious, but Double Team is really good. If you use it twice, there is a very low chance anybody will hit you. And that goes for, like, you know, if you're fighting somebody with a team of 6 Pokemon and you don't swap out once, it stays. So we are going to get rid of Tail Whip because I want to use Thunder Wave, you know, to make catching Pokemon easier, and I mean, paralysis is always useful to have. Lowering defense is good, and I'm glad we had that for Brock's gym. You beat me again! But Double Team is fantastic. There are other kinds of Pokemon than those found in the forest. I know! Hi, I like shorts. They're comfy and easy to wear. Yeah, I'm definitely showing this fight. That fight was, or that line was a meme for a very long time. It seems to have fallen out of popularity slowly over the last 2 decades, but it was big. I also love how all the trainers around here are about just as powerful as Brock is. It feels a little weird. I'd like to imagine that the gym leaders see how powerful you are or how many badges you have, and fight you with a different team depending on how powerful you are or how experienced you are, but I don't know. That's more in-universe lore we don't have to worry about because we are seeing the world through Red's eyes. Ekans. This is a new Pokemon. It is a poison type. Poison is a type I often forget about, like most people seemingly do, but it is, according to Chugga Conroy, extremely underrated. Most poison moves have a chance of inflicting poison, which is very useful, because that does consistent damage to you. Even outside of battle, it does consistent damage to you. I don't believe it! Are you storing Pokemon on PC? Each box can hold 20 Pokemon! Ooh, we'll have to keep that in mind. We have to fight one of these guys, so I guess I choose you! Are you a trainer? Let's fight! So, Game Freak was a term in the late 80s in Japan that meant, basically gamer. It was just somebody who's really into games was a game freak. So Satoshi Tajiri started up a magazine and a company called Game Freak. And he hired artist Kinsuga Mori for the magazine, who later went on to develop Pokemon with him, as I mentioned before. They got tired of all of the lackluster games they were finding, and they decided to become a game development company themselves. They came up with a pitch for Capsule Monsters, and showed it to Nintendo, who I already said was uninterested except for Miyamoto. And this is when development really began in late 1990, early 1991. Now, if you will remember, Game Freak, we've already played games. This is Weedle's evolution, by the way, Kakuna, which you would know if you were playing any version of the game other than Yellow at this point, most likely. Sorry, I got myself off track. I've been better about this over the years, I feel like. If you go back and watch my old videos, conversations disappear mid-sentence way more easily. But it's, of course, very bad right now. Yes, we've played other Game Freak games before. Yoshi was made simply to fund development of Pokemon. Miyamoto convinced Nintendo to give Game Freak the license for Yoshi and Mario, of course, because in other countries it was called Mario and Yoshi. So it would sell pretty well, and it's a decently designed puzzle game, I believe designed by Satoshi Tajiri, who also designed Mario and Wario. Junichi Masuda also composed that soundtrack, and there are songs in that game that sound a lot like route music in this game. So that's pretty neat. Of course, I kind of butchered my playthrough and only made one short gameplay video. And I'm not proud of that, of Mario and Wario, but oh my god, I hate the SNES mouse. And I could have used a hack that lets you use joypad controls, but that doesn't feel authentic to me, and I'm just not a big fan of puzzle games. Of course, it was more of a puzzle platformer, but it's just not my style. No offense to Game Freak. If I had new Pokemon, I would have won! If a Pokemon box on the PC gets full, just switch to another box. Hey, you're not wearing shorts! Oh, the shorts thing is so funny. Still, like, I mean, it's not as funny anymore after you've heard it a million times, but that's pretty out there text, which, of course, this game isn't nearly as funny as Earthbound. Also, I'd like to point out 8 collectibles? 8 main collectibles to progress the story? A little suspicious if you ask me. Similar to other games I've been talking about. I'd also like to point out... Oh, lost! 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 Man, these people really beat themselves up. I always wear shorts, even in winter. I'd like to point out that the whole, like, is this entire game imagined, is very similar to a concept for Earthbound Beginnings, where that entire game could just be the imagination of Nintendo. Likewise, that's kind of what Pokemon could be. That's kind of how we're seeing it, at least. It's a combination of reality and just what Red wants to see, I feel like. I don't know how to get into that, but we've talked about that plenty, so I'll shut up about it. That look you gave me, it's so intriguing. Avoid fights by not letting people see you. Great. We can't avoid this fight. This is required. You can fight my new Pokemon! So that's pretty much the main story of Pokemon's development. In the original documents for Capsule Monsters, they were hoping it would be a huge craze spread by word of mouth, and that's exactly what it became. 6 years later when the games finally came out, and 8 years for America. And that's an insane development time for the 90s. But it was well worth the wait. As buggy as the games were, which I don't understand why Creatures Inc.'s programmers still had jobs after Earthbound when they screwed up the whole program so badly that Iwata had to come in from a completely different company, from HAL, and fix it. Like, do it all from scratch. And he perfected it in less than 6 months. And then they immediately go on to do the same thing with Pokemon. Iwata didn't have to come in and save them in this game. In later games, he does. But done like dinner. Trained Pokemon are stronger than the wild ones. And we have one more Pokemon we can find. Sandshrew, the mouse Pokemon, shares that with Pikachu. I didn't know that. That's weird. Its body is dry. When it gets cold at night, its hide is said to become coated with a fine dew. Nicknamed as Sandshrew. Now I want to say Sandy, but we're actually going to go with Peter. Because Sandy, I can't just take part of the name and add a Y to it. I want to do that every time. Alright, bye Peter. And we're going to go ahead and talk to this girl. I believe she actually has a new Pokemon to show us that we can't catch yet. Eek! Did you touch me? Yes, we saw this back in the Pokemon Center in Pewter City. This is actually a tougher fight. You can, of course, avoid it by going behind her in the tall grass. That didn't look right. Did you guys see that? Nope. I am just gonna keep attacking to the best of my ability and just hope Jigglypuff does not get a crit. Okay, perfect. 3 potions. I really should have bought more potions, but you know what? That's okay. I believe in myself. Thunder Wave was disabled. Disabled disables a random move. I think it's... I always thought as a kid... Oh no. This is not good. We are asleep. Sorry, my phone keeps going off and scaring me. Oh, I don't like this. But you know what we can do? Hehe, quick attack. Always goes first. Well, unless somebody else is using quick attack. Red defeated Loss. That's it? Route 4 is at the foot of Mount Moon. I'm actually going to keep going instead of going back all the way to Pewter to heal, because why would I want to do that? That's no fun. Just kidding, this guy's not a trainer. Whew, I better take a rest. Ugh, that tunnel from Cerulean takes a lot out of you. This is Route 4, I believe. No, this is still Route 3. My bad. There we go. You see where it lagged just a little bit? This is Route 4. How are we doing on time? I am actually going to end it off there. A little bit of a shorter video, but why not? What do you have to say, Pikachu? Oh, shit. Loves it. Okay, great. Well, I will see you guys for Route 4 and Mount Moon.